Let's talk about it. Black family. Why can't the black man these kids? Why? He loves his kids. He loves his kids. He want to show how much he loves his kids. So why he can't see his kids? Or do he love his kids? It makes me wonder why there's so many black conscious leaders who are online complaining about why they can't see their kids. As if you don't know in all your consciousness why you can't see your goddamn kids. I can't see my kids. She won't let me see my kids. Trigger warning. Because if y'all can't handle the truth, this video is not for you. I am about to go in this video. And I've already went in before. I've already went in before on a different video. A couple years ago on this same topic. I did a whole psychoanalysis on this black conscious leader. By the way, I do support his mission. I'm a Pan-African myself. But some things just need to be called out. You can't see your kids. Why can't you see your kids? You should know why you can't see your kids. Oh, the black woman is so evil. She's so evil, so she won't let me see my kids. Okay. So you deflect away from the real reason why. I feel like this should not be rocket science, you guys. It should not. If a man has a relationship with the mother of his children, he will see his kids. It's just that simple. It's so simple. But these men don't have respect for the black woman. They don't value the black woman. They impregnate her. They procreate with, they have sex with her. But they abandon their responsibility. And they don't see that their responsibility is not only just to the kid. It's also to the mother of that child. If the black man could get that, if he was taught that, if he was given great examples of that, but he has not apparently been given good examples of what a family consists of. Black man, your responsibility is to the family, to the mother and the child, not just the child. Why do you abandon that responsibility? That should be the question. Not, why can't you see your kids? Why did you abandon your responsibility to the mother of your child? Talk about that. Then you will be able to uncover why you can't see your kids. It's not that complicated. Stop trying to paint the black woman out like she's the freaking devil. Yes, the black man and the black woman, we carry with us a lot of generational trauma. We have issues passed down through the generations, and we carry that with us when we enter into new romantic relationships, and we tend to perpetuate those same cycles. Black men don't want to own up to their responsibility. And black men have been hoodwinked. I sometimes feel bad for black men to a certain extent, because even the conscious black men have fallen into the trap. And the way they talk, right? Like, you can tell their mind has been conditioned to devalue the black woman, just as she has been devalued on a mass scale within our society. By the media, by these rap songs. It's just like women have become objectified. You use us, throw us on out. You don't know how to create and value a family. That's problematic to say that you love someone but abandon your commitment to that person. If you love someone, if there's truly love there, right, in a relationship where the black man loves the black woman, but he doesn't. It's a contradiction, yo. These black leaders, and y'all know who I'm talking about. We're talking about the black leaders who complain about, I can't see my kids. Why can't I see my kids? It's because they don't love the black woman. The black woman recognizes that. You mean to tell me, as a black man, you can't put yourself in a black woman's shoes to imagine what it would be like to be a woman, to have a man put his seed in you as a woman and create life that is developing in your womb for 40 weeks. Your life is threatened during this process. You don't know the outcome. You don't know if you're going to survive childbirth when you deliver that baby. But you push through anyway, and you carry that baby. Men, put yourself, just imagine, put yourself in the shoes of a woman. Imagine yourself as a woman who is impregnated by a man. And then, of course, the stress level increases, as it should, surrounding a new life being born, another responsibility. It affects the finances, of course. But it's no surprise, right? You know what comes along with the territory of having a baby? Responsibility. And with responsibility often comes stress. But if you know how to manage stress, you know how to resolve conflict, and I think that usually is the problem. Why it doesn't work, because we lack conflict resolution skills. Oftentimes, when there is a bit of opposition, there is some conflict, your feathers get ruffled. People abandon ship. They run away. They're talking about, oh, she's a runner, she's a track star. No, black men, he's a runner, he's a track star. They leave when things get hard. How can you say you're a man, then question after the baby has passed through the birth canal or surgically removed? Even freaking worse. It's even more tragic and traumatic and risky to have a C-section. After that process has taken place, the mother has to recover. And during this time, can you imagine having to do that alone? Men, can you imagine having to do that alone? With no support from the person that helped create this life with you? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine those feelings that you will engender as a result of being abandoned by the person that you put your trust in, that you expected to be there for you? Think about that. That is traumatic. That is fear-inducing to have to go through that. It's already so much unknown possibilities that could happen when a baby is born, and then you add to it by not being committed, not even standing on your word, not being trusted, not being dependable, reliable. Where are you, black man? When the baby is born, where are you? In the most delicate first 5 years of that baby's life, where are you? But then you come with your insensitive ass and say, she won't let me see my child. You still don't know why? It's not rocket science, man. It's not. Men who are in their wives' lives, who have made the mother of their children a wife, not a baby mama. Why do you want baby mamas? It's just like, I feel like these men are out spreading their seed. And they even say it. Oh, the purpose of the black man is to spread his seed far and wide. To have all these children running around that look like him. What is the point of that if they don't have structure? They don't have a family. What is the point? Just to perpetuate more freaking generational curses? Because that's all you're creating. Generational curses. Count the number of kids your ass have that are growing up fatherless, and that's how many curses you got running around in this goddamn world that you made, that you helped perpetuate. But it gives you a sense of manhood to have multiple women, multiple baby mamas, as if that's some kind of honor. You feel honorable. No. And they know that it's a contradiction not to have their children with them and have all these kids. So you want to feel a sense of honor as a black man, and in doing so, you want to be a father. You don't want to be perceived as less than a freaking father, less than a man. So you, in your mind, think that, oh, well, let me get my kids. Because you feel a sense of guilt. Apparently, there is a sense of guilt there. You need to be validated. Your manhood needs to be validated. But it's a contradiction. It doesn't make you a man if you're only accountable to the children, but not the mother. You create a whole family. I come across men, especially at my age. I'm 37. I'm about to be 38 in September of this year, 2021. And of course I come across men who already have kids at this age. And I wonder, why? Why did it not work? Why? What went wrong? Like, you have children. Why aren't you married to the mother of your children? Why? Is that something that you don't value? They don't value that. But they claim they love their kids. They value their kids. That's a major discrepancy there. And you want me to be convinced that it's going to work out between me and you? And I often tell them, like, yo, it didn't work out between you and your baby mom. It damn sure is not going to work out between me and you. I can predict that with absolute certainty it's not going to work out. How do I know this? Because I am no different than your baby mom. How is the situation any different? Women are the same. Men be blown away when I say this. They're like, you don't see yourself as different. You're not special. No, we have unique qualities that we bring, right, to the table. But we all have been socialized in the same way. It's not going to be any different. You are the constant as the man. You are the constant in that relationship. So someone says, because blacks are very poor, No. Poverty has nothing to do with why black men can't see their kids. Or why black men abandon ship. You can be poor. Black people have always been poor. If you want to go there in America. You got people, black families that are poor, black men and women, but they are still together. If anything, it would make better sense to work together as a unit, as a team. If you're so poor. Yes, with poverty, there's an increased degree of stress because you're worried about your sense of survival. How can you survive? How can you feed yourself? How can you keep a roof over your head? And oftentimes, people don't know how to cope with that stress. So what do? Oh my gosh. They get triggered by each other. They get irritated and they just want to be away from that person as if that person is the one who is causing the stress. No. We need to learn how to interact with each other as black men and black women in various situations. In high stress level situations, or when there's no stress at all. Why can't we know how to interact and live with each other and love each other? This is coming from a black woman who was raised in a two-parent household. I grew up with my mom and my dad in the same household up until the age of 12 years old. Then my mom, she decided, I guess she had enough when I was 12 years old. So she took me and my sister and moved about 30 minutes away from where our family lived, from where, she was with my dad, and moved back in with her mother. But guess what? That didn't stop me from seeing my dad, though. She didn't want to stop me from seeing my dad. But let's say my mom did stop me. Let's say she was one of those kind of vindictive women, as black men want to say, or she's being vindictive. And let's say my mom didn't want me to see my dad. I was going to see my dad anyway, especially at the age that I was. I was 12 years old. Hell, I'm damn near halfway an adult. So I know how to see my dad if that was a situation, but it wasn't. Basically, at that time, her and my dad had worked out an arrangement, an agreement, where I would see my dad frequently, and they would meet halfway in between the two cities of St. Augustine and Jacksonville, Florida. And they would exchange me like I'm piece of property, I guess. That's awkward for kids. Kids shouldn't have to go through that. Kids should not have to go through that. But, that affected me, of course. That affected me. That affected my relationship with my mom because I felt like, why take me away from my dad? Right? I love my dad. I'm a daddy's girl. So, of course, that affected a relationship with my dad till this day. With my mom till this day. That made me actually want to draw even near to him. So I stayed with my mom for 4 years until I got tired of her. So from age 12 to age 16, I lived with my mom. And at 16, I was just like, I had enough. And I did to her basically what she did to my dad. I just sporadically left without her knowing. Just one day, and I planned that with my dad. Like, me and my dad, we plotted this behind my mom's back. I wanted this, though. I initiated this. I reached out to my dad. I wrote him a letter. To let him know how I felt. And I wanted to be with him. I wanted to move back in with him. And of course, he said, baby, yes, come home. Because that is my dad. So I say that to say that a child is going to find their way back to where they belong anyway. These black conscious leaders are like, oh, she won't let me see my kids. They so worried about the child not knowing who they are. It's just like, yo, if you were there in that child's life and the mother's life, especially during the first 5 years, is the most critical moment of that child's life. That child can't forget. I can never forget my dad. Me and my dad still have a relationship. My dad still calls me. I love when my dad calls. He just pops up, calls me. He's retired now. Calls me, asks me how I'm doing. I live in New York City. My dad lives in Jacksonville, Florida. He checks on me all the time. He bought me my second car. I bought myself my first car, but he bought me my second car, paid for it in full. One day out of nowhere, out of the blue. He was just like, how you doing? I'm good. How are you getting around? I don't have a car. I was in my 20s, I think, at this time. I think mid-20s, I think. And I was like, I take the bus or whatever. This is back in Florida, in Jacksonville, so no trains in Jacksonville. I was taking the bus. He was like, oh, I'm going to buy you a car. Like, my dad always came through. I was spoiled. That's why, like, that template of what a man should look like has always been ingrained in me. So when it comes to standard for a man, men, I feel like I don't have high standards, but for some men, it's high for them because they don't know what it means to be a man. To be a provider, to be a protector. If you are that, your children will come to you. They will want to see you. They will terrorize their mother until she takes them to see you. And granted, it was unfortunate. So when I left sporadically at 16 years old, it was the summer of my 10th grade year when I planned this move. My mom was at work, yo. It was a perfect time. She was at work. I didn't want to do it when she was home. You can't do it when the person is home, right? It's just like a domestic violence victim. You can't leave when your abuser is around. You gotta find a way to leave when their ass not there. So that was pretty much how it worked out. And yeah, my dad came and picked me up. And I remember getting to my dad's house and unpacking, and my mom, surprise, surprise, she found out, like, her daughter is not where she's supposed to be. And she called my dad's phone. At the time, we had house phones, landline phones. She called the landline phone at my dad's house, and I picked up, and she was like, oh, you wanted to go stay with your dad? And I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, okay, I didn't know. I was like, yeah, we worked out a plan. She thought it was for the summer. She was like, oh, okay, you're going to spend the summer there? I'm staying here, okay? I'm never coming back. And it broke her heart. It broke her heart, and I didn't care. I just didn't care. She begged and pleaded for me to come back. She tried to manipulate me on coming back, persuade me, oh, I'm going to, buy you a prom dress. Your dad isn't going to buy you a prom dress. That's a lie. If I wanted to go to prom, my dad would buy me anything I want. But she thought that was important to me, and I didn't give a fuck about prom. Me? Care about prom? I didn't care about prom. That wasn't a concern of mine. Right? My older sister cared about prom and the whole dress and the date and all that. Do I really care about that? I don't care about stuff like that. And it broke her heart that I would not fold. Nothing she could tell me could convince me to go back. Just like, no, I made it my mind. Because it's about the relationship that I think is important between me and my dad. Right? Of course, the relationship between me and my mom is important, but I'm a daddy's girl. You know what I'm saying? So a child will go and find their parent. If they want to be with whichever parent they want to be with, they're going to go because they remember. They remember those early memories that are important to their survival, their identity, who they are. They remember that. And that's where they're going to go. It just amazes me that black men just can't understand that. And I think it comes with a degree of selfishness, and also it's just perpetuating generational curses. It's like, if you grew up in a single parent household as a child without a father, as a little boy, right? You grew up in a single parent household with only your mom, without your father. You have learned that, oh, the black woman doesn't need the black man. You seek out these women who have this ideology. And so I'm listening to a video of a black conscious leader who complains about, oh, she won't let me see my kids. And he has 2 baby mamas. And then at the end of the video, he says, oh, yeah, you know, I have to take responsibility. The responsibility that he takes is not admitting that he wasn't committed to his mother of his children, that he dropped the ball in that aspect. The responsibility that he took is, oh, I chose the wrong women. If that ain't some selfish, narcissistic way of conceptualizing a problem, yo. Oh, you chose the wrong women. Perhaps. Perhaps. Maybe they have the ideology of, oh, I can be an independent woman. I don't need this man. So if a woman makes a black man feel insignificant, feel obsolete, like they're not needed, what black man is gonna, like, it's hard, I think, to uphold a degree of commitment as a black man in a situation where he's made to feel like he's insignificant, that the black woman can live without him. I wouldn't be in a relationship with somebody like that, where I'm made to feel like you don't give a fuck about my existence. Like, I could walk out the door, I could die or whatever, or leave tomorrow, and you're not going to be impacted by it. You just don't care. There are some people that live like that. That is not healthy, I think, in a relationship. We should value each other and appreciate and know that we need each other. On an individual level, we need each other, right? In that relationship. But I think, metaphorically speaking, as black men and women, we need each other to procreate. To have this idea, oh, I don't need a black man, when women say that, or the black man, I don't need a black woman. Like, if we all thought like that, yo, our race would end. We would end. And I feel like, to a certain extent, we are in that realm of thinking. That's the realm in which we operate in. We don't need each other. We live without it because we associate the negativity. Like Kennedy mentioned, when you associate all the ills of our condition as black people, right? Poverty and uneducated and just the degradation, like the way society views blackness, right? When really, I was like, yo, I was watching this video yesterday, and this comedian, like, she tells jokes, but she put us up on game. I liked, like, the lesson she gave, little tidbit that she gave in her video about the word black. And I know we have mentioned this before. It's been brought to the surface, but the way she worded it, it was profound. She said that the term black is really racist. And it began to settle in like, damn, it is. It's a racist term to refer to a group of people who derive from Africa as black, when we know that the word itself carries a negative connotation, right? It's a color, but it carries a negative connotation. Words have meaning. And so that was very profound when you just really think about that. What's associated with the term black? So when you think about that, interracial dating makes sense. Some people don't want to have anything to do with blackness, black people, because is everything bad? I think naturally we are driven towards pleasure, things that bring us pleasure, things that bring us joy, enlightenment. fulfillment in life, right? And how can we be attracted to something that has been associated with, like you said, black people are very poor, with poverty stricken, everything bad. You know what I'm saying? Just, it's not good. Not to say that there aren't great qualities that we bring. Of course there are. But when we're talking about within a context of a society that has been constructed and that has been built and that exists in a certain way, like, we have to really begin to break it down to look at this situation. It makes sense. We got issues. That's just the bottom line. We got issues that a 60-minute video can't fix. Can uncover, but it can't fix, because that's work that we got to do within ourselves. It's work. We're working on our own generational curses, our own negative thinking, ways of being, our perceptions, the things that have been passed down to us based on the shit that our parents went through and their parents went through and their parents went through. We're dealing with all of that. And unless we confront that enemy within, it's never going to change. And so, before I end this video, I just find it interesting that I'm thinking about one person. Now, this is the reason why I made this video. I'm not going to say his name. But I just find it interesting that there's this black conscious leader who made a post about his desire to have a son, which would be his third child from a third baby mama. And it's no surprise, like, the cycle will continue to repeat itself. He talks about, wanting a queen. I want 2 wives. And I'm like, the universe already sent you 2 wives. You got 2 baby mamas. Those are your wives that the universe sent you. It didn't work out. Not to put all the blame on him. They probably had their own shit too. That, I don't need a black man syndrome kind of thing. Not valuing each other. It goes back to that. We really value each other. But we're so easily disposable. When things don't go our way, right? When we face opposition, conflict in a relationship, what do? Throw that person away. I don't need you. Go into another relationship. I mean, at what point do we sit down and say, all right, well, I'm willing to accept you and love you as you are? Love is becoming more extinct. It's like this concept that's an illusion. It's becoming an illusion. Do black men and black women love each other? Do we? To accept the flaws within. There's going to be some shit. But I guess at some point we ask ourselves, okay, well, where do we draw the line? You know, because you don't want to be devalued. You don't want to be mistreated. But you know that we all come with our shit. We all have implicit racial bias against our own race, against our own self. We all have self-hate that we've internalized. That's the unfortunate part. And so when you internalize this self-hatred towards the African race, it's you see a mirror. You're looking at your partner and you are expressing hate. You're projecting hate. And it can be done indirectly, subconsciously, passively, right? That could be the worst hate. Sometimes it's better just for a person to just say, you know, fuck you, I hate you, right? Directly, just out there. As opposed to do it subtly, like, because there are subtle ways that a person can show that they just hate. And I made a video on why black men hate black women, and then a lot of black men came to defense and said, oh, we don't hate black women. We just don't like certain things you guys do. You're argumentative. No, you hate. Just call it for what it is, because that's how we can fix the problem. If you own it and identify and say, you know, yeah, I hate her. She irks me. She gets under my skin. I hate her, right? you know you hate someone because it's the opposite of love. You don't love them. You're not showing them love. You're not forgiving them. You're not nurturing them. You don't care. You don't care. You can live without them. You turn your back on that person. You betray that person. You treat that person pretty much like their oppressor would treat them, right? But then you say, oh, I don't hate. I don't know. I don't hate the black woman. I don't hate. Okay, well, the way you treat her is, it looks very familiar to how the slave masters would treat the slaves as property. But oh no, I don't hate her. Yeah, because you don't want to face up. You just don't want to own up to your own shit. It's unfortunate. I had to make this video. It's important. Because how we see each ourselves first and foremost, and each other, second of all, is going to reflect upon the children, the family, our community, our nation, as the African race. We got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of healing to do. It's not easy. You can talk about it in words, but putting it into practice, boy, I tell you. And I can speak from my own personal experience. It's hard. Oh, it's hard. But it's doable, though. It's doable. It's doable to love the black man and the black woman. It's doable for the black man and black woman to love each other. We can. We gotta just feel that same degree of love towards each other. It gotta be equal. That's when it works, when it's equally felt. And we see the greater purpose in it. Because when you're in a mission, that can be a very difficult mission, right? Loving the black man and the black woman. It's a whole mission, yo. You know, it's hard. But when you think about the end goal, the black family, think about that. And for this purpose of saving the race, continuing our race, our survival. Not for self as an individual, but collectively. It begins to make sense. That's what we got to think about. That's my motivation, to not give up hope on loving the black man. I still have hope. I'm about to be 38 years old. But there's still hope out there. I haven't given up. So don't you guys give up. Black man, stop talking about, oh, she won't let me see my kids. If you love up on her, and it gotta be genuine. Because of course, black women know when it's some bullshit. Oh, you just doing that. Like, I feel like I gotta say this before I go. That if I was a black mother, a single black mother, thank God I'm not. But if I was, and my baby dad, if I heard the words of my baby dad saying, I want to see my baby. Why you won't let me see my baby? If I heard that shit, knowing damn well he ain't showed no concern for me. Like, that to me, that's just an insult. That sounds like an insult to me. I'm putting myself in the shoes of a single black mother. I'm just like, that to me, I would take great offense to that. Because you are inadvertently just showing me that my life don't even matter to you. You're not concerned about seeing me or my well-being. You only give a damn about what came from me as it relates to your 23 chromosomes. Some black men also, I think, are subconsciously wanting to show that they care about the black mother by saying, oh, I want to see my child. I want to see you see. They'll say that shit like a million times. Think about how many times a black man has said that. They are subconsciously saying that, okay, you really want to see the mother, but you don't even know how to express that love. They don't know. I feel like they've been attacked. Black man has been so attacked. They feel threatened. It's a threat to their sense of identity, their sense of manhood or masculinity, to submit themselves to a certain extent to the black woman. So they don't. Because when you're looking at the black woman, baby, you're looking at yourself. You're seeing yourself. So if you look at the black woman with disgust, maybe that's how you feel about yourself. On that note, I will end this video. Catch you guys later. Feel free to leave your comments below, as I know you will. Share this video. Love you guys.